Jesus, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. They're like, where can we put our church?
Lord.
You know what? In the middle of the children's hospital.
Yeah,
Right
right here.
Y'all are raggedy for that.
Location.
But when you walk in there, it's like, yeah, they try to convert you immediately. So, but it's funny how they do it though, because then they have you touch that big old electric globe or whatever, and they try to read your energy or shit like that. So it's me and my people, we just go in there to fuck with them. We were talking about okay, so what were you thinking right now? Shit, I was like, I'm thinking about going to Roscoe's right next door for y'all, like right down the street, shit for y'all. I'm thinking I'm hungry. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm
like,
hungry. I'm feeling that. No, I don't even feel like I ate
it was in the way, Jack.
I know, my bad. I did that shit like on instinct though. My bad.
We gonna fuck around and do the same thing on accident. I'm gonna like trying to adjust it.
Yeah, my bad.
It's all good. That's a therapeutic sound right there. Yeah.
That's my next idea for YouTube, bro. I'm gonna come out with an ASMR channel.
Just scratching your beard, man.
Yeah, like
I can hear you. I can see how you end it right now. Yeah. And you're gay.
And you're gay. End of everyone.
Facts.
Oh, it's so funny. No, I'm being serious. It's no cap. Like anytime I end in a battle like that, it's literally just because
I'm honored for that, Jack.
You gotta do it every time. I'm like, I gotta do it at least one round. Every time.
I mean, that first, when I was first introduced to you when we were watching your battle with Kev, it really.
I don't even remember what battle it was either. But I do remember watching it in his garage there.
And I remember that was just how you ended every round, So for me, that's just how it was like.
It's always got to be.
It's always your slogan for me, you know what I mean? I'm like, if I hear anyone else do it, I'm like, you stealing Jack's shit.
You stole that from me. You
stealing Jack's lines, because I don't appreciate that.
I said it in the middle of the rounds. You still stole it. I think I'm the only one that still does say that kind of stuff. Like they call them faggots and stuff like that.
Of course, yeah.
It's gonna happen,
But I mean, it doesn't, like it's. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, fuck DNAs, get the fuck out. Like, Jax and you're gay. Like, it was just like, it's tailored to you. Like, I see it like a lot of these battle rappers that try to come up with their slogans and shit like that. And, like, it just seems like they're trying too hard. Almost, you know what I mean? Like, but for you, that was just like, it's the equivalent to me hearing Diz scream at somebody, faggot.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you expect that from, like, that's their shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
precisely.
Everyone calls each other a faggot in battle rap, but I mean, when it comes from that specific person, like, when it comes from Diz, it's faggot, you know what I mean?
It's attached to him in that way.
Everyone calls each other gay in it, but when you have Jack, like, you turn that into a line, like, it's almost like, how did, you made it a hot line, I made it a hot song. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's all
crazy.
with you.
Bad News tells me that too. It's like, who did it first, who did it better sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like that, for me, that's like just a funny ass thing to say, I think it's just the way and you're gay. And you're like, where's this gonna go?
I mean, you saw how happy and how I responded every single time. Like, I didn't give a fuck if okay, it was great when you said it the first time in your first round.
Yeah.
But then your second at that, I just had him like, I just every single time
go,
like,
boy.
and you're gay.
I'm gonna see what battle it is. I gotta check real quick because I swear that I'm trying to think back when I didn't have like how many battles I had by the time I met you. I want to say it was against True Tones. I don't know. All I know is that it was like 4 years ago. It was a while ago.
I always looked at it like, when Kev told me, he had you coming over, I was tripping. I was like, you're gonna, like, he said it like so randomly, like, you have Jack coming over? And I understand, like, okay, it's like, he didn't, without doing, I love you to death, Jack, but you know what I mean when I say, it's not like he said, oh, he's having Mook or Lux coming over. But he said it so random, like, you're having Jack coming over? Like, right now? Like, he's coming here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had that response. I was like, that, like,
it's strange, yeah.
And I thought that was dope as fuck. You know what I mean? Because it just goes to show, like, no matter where we are, in life, you know what I mean? Like, now we see how far we've come. We've come such a long way. But we look at it as like looking back at such humble beginnings. Just still back with the homies in the garage getting stoned watching battles. You know what I mean?
It's a whole field. Man. And like even 4 years ago, I lived a little differently, but I'm still like. Yeah, pull through. Come to my pad. We'll watch. We'll get beer and we'll watch something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's more of the vibe that I try to keep still. Even even hanging out because back then I didn't know anybody. So like Kev was like one of the first people that I just would hang out with or talk to like on like through Facebook or whatever and be like, oh yeah, what up, man? Like I don't know. Being a battle rapper, I didn't feel like there was a separation between me and being a fan and a battler. I like watching battles live. And I happen to do it as well,
Right.
So I never put that separation. That's why I shit, we'll go get a beer, you know.
No, that's why I was
smoke
able.
like
That's
that,
why I was
you know?
able to generally fuck with you because you was always able to keep that humble, side about you. And I think that's like the greatest, the greatest thing about it. Because like even with like what's going on with you right now, like, your name is like literally on everyone, on the mouth of everybody in the culture right now.
Mm.
And Dame's word pause for that one, but
Yeah, right.
you know what I mean. But the fact of the matter is, everyone's, your name is buzzing right now within the culture, and it's that ground. It's always good to stay grounded. Like speaking of Lux, that's one of the things he taught me. You know what I mean. Don't let it go to your head; it may weigh you down. Type of shit. So I think ultimately that's why the things are only going to get better from you from here on out.
Appreciate that, man.
So,
Hell yeah. It's definitely a step-by-step thing, though. Because I'm like, the way that I should have been more prepared when all this happened. Like,
Right.
I should have had a shirt. Or I should have had a logo already. I should have had music out on Spotify. I have stuff up on SoundCloud, but it's from like 3 or 4 years ago. So,
Right,
and it's shit I made like 6 or 7 years ago. So, I think that's like the only thing I'm like, man, I gotta like hurry up and make this happen. But you're not the only person that said that. Where it's like, just this is only the beginning, you know.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
the
this is
baby-
on. This is where it
baby
starts.
stages.
This is where it starts. You know what I mean?
Baby Jesus.
3, 2.
West World, it's your boy Young YC Young Cal coming straight at y'all with another special edition of CALi, broadcasting to you live from Projected Space LA. Right now, I'm currently being blessed. I'm here with Hippie Jesus himself, Mr. Viral. Give yourself an introduction that you deserve, sir.
Hippie Jesus works for me, man. Jack, JAQ with a Q. Hippie Jesus, Hippie Jack, 10K Jack, Bible Jack. Shit, man.
The jack of all trades, yo.
Jack of all trades.
Yo, this ain't nothing
Yeah.
new to us, so I just want to say first and foremost, as thank you for your time, sir. I appreciate you, joining us, for making this happen. I know you got a lot going on, and I've been watching a lot of your interviews as of recently, and I just realized that I had to make this happen because you know what, I've always been one of my favorite people to talk to, especially within the battle rap culture. One of the things that I've always appreciated and loved about the culture are the artists who bring two things to the to the art form and to the sport, and that's authenticity and substance.
Appreciate
So,
that. Hell yeah. Thank you,
know what I
man.
mean, Jack? Yeah, it's always it's an honor to say that I've been with you. It's like since almost the beginning, right?
Yeah, pretty much, man. I want to say, like, I'd only been doing it for like a year and a half when we had met at some event. I can't even recall which one it was, but I feel like it's just, how you're around people enough and it's like you kind of just always knew them. I feel like
Exactly. You
that's
kind of
what it is.
gravitate to them. And that's how the culture has always been. It brings people together. You know what I mean? Of so many different walks of life. You know what I mean? Even people you probably normally wouldn't see.
Yeah.
Together. In LA. But
You're like, oh, shit.
But that's that's one thing that I've always been grateful to the culture for. Is what I mean? Introducing us to each other, to one another. And like I said, I've been watching a lot of your your content as of lately. Not only your battles, but a lot of your interviews. And one thing that I wanted to give everyone an opportunity, to do in this one is, just to get to know the origins of Mr. the Jack of all trades. You know what I mean? Like where you grew up and, how was life for you, coming up?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Life was interesting. Shout out my parents. Shout out my grandparents. Salute to them. Papa Jack.
Yep, Mama Jack.
I know he watches all these, man. But no, it was. I had a pretty normal childhood. I mean, normal as one could consider it. Eventually, I ended up living with my grandparents around when I was like 5 or 6.
And where'd you grow up at?
So they lived in Rancho, Rancho Cucamonga. So I lived there for a good amount of time, and then pretty much until after high school, and then I moved out to Pomona, I think. I've just kind of been everywhere in the IE,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been
You and I have that similar background. I was raised by the Queen, my grandmother as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why you and I had like so much in common.
Shout out to the grandmas,
Yeah,
man. I swear.
exactly. The real
They
queens
are,
of the world.
Well, and they gave me like a lot of principles and like good standards to put myself towards. I'm not like perfect or anything, but there's something about when you get raised by grandparents, like the way that they understand, 'cause
Absolutely.
they already had the kids. Now they're like, it's like a way for them to make up for their mistakes, maybe, or something.
Exactly. I think ultimately they never say that out loud, but I think that's like the unwritten, agreement.
It's all there. I'm just gonna say it out loud, but no, that's why I say like they're shout out to them for real, because they're the ones that at least when things weren't always like the best for me, they were like the rock for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Took me a long time to realize that too, because growing up I thought everyone was against me, but clearly not. It's just a kid being a kid.
Yeah, I think we actually have all that feeling at some point, in our lives, where you're thinking it's just like, the Pac mentality, me against the world type of deal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. And I know, and I felt that too. And actually, as I said, keep saying it. I've been watching a lot of your interviews, and one of the things that I wanted to expand on is because one of the interview questions you were asked is like, who are some artists you wanted to be compared to?
Uh-huh.
And one of your answers stuck out to me. And like this is why, like I said, I love all of your interviews, and I wanted to make sure we did this because you're always thinking outside the box. You know what I mean?
Right.
You said that you wanted to be compared to the legendary Jeff Hardy.
Hell yeah, bro.
And I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad at that. You know what I mean? That man is like you're right. He is a true inspiration. You know what I mean? I grew up watching wrestling as well. Which was another part of our childhoods. I never forget that WrestleMania 17, the tables, ladders, and chairs match.
With
the
the
Dudley
Edge and
Boys.
Christian and the Dudley Boys. Yeah,
Yes,
that one was crazy.
That was of course, we all know Edge and Christian won, but I mean, like the real showman in that was definitely the star of that was definitely Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, man, he's jumping off of the tallest ladder. He's going through every single table, in and out of the ring. Like, he's just when I was younger, I was like, I wouldn't consider myself a daredevil sort of person, but if I wanted to do something, I was like, yeah, he would do it. I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like we had the trampoline and we would wrestle in it too. But I remember something I did often is I would push it over. We had a trailer.
Shit.
It was like maybe a 15, 20-foot trailer, and you can get onto the trailer by climbing up the wall and then jumping onto the trailer. And I was doing like all sorts of like backflips and front flips out of it, like probably to the point where I could have broken my neck or something, but killed myself. But it's something like that is like, swanton bombs pretty much is what I would do off of that, and he even just. Shit, we had a basketball court too. We would climb up on it, and I would like front flip off of it into the trampoline too. So just things like that. It's like gave me the inspiration to want to do some crazy shit when I was younger.
Yeah, we never did listen to that disclaimer on WWE, right? Don't try this at home.
Never.
We all failed that one.
I think that's like the biggest fact that every single kid had to have tried wrestling moves like with their sibling or with their cousins or whatever at any point in time. Like, if not like in a trampoline or something, or like onto the mattress, like it's into the pool. You know what I mean?
My little brother's still trying to forgive me to this day for some of them wrestling.
Dude, I've hit the walls of Jericho a couple times on the homies back then, and like almost pretty sure I like fractured their spine. Bro. Yeah. They're like, oh no, you got to stop it. Like, you're supposed to look this way. It's like, no, it's supposed to hurt each other. So I don't know, but yeah, Jeff Hardy is definitely one of those people. I'm just like. Yeah, he's like out there, He's got a. I remember I wanted to dye my hair the same way because of him and all that shit. Like he just had this crazy gothic look to him. I'm just like, that's.
He was a true rock star. And
yeah, exactly.
Right. Absolutely. That's why I said, to me it was the perfect answer, and it's an answer that would only come from you, Jack. You know what I mean? But I think the reason why it was so appropriate, and what I was getting at with that was I do look at you like the battle rap Jeff Hardy, someone who was just, is gonna go out a legend, but he's so underrated right now. He still didn't get his due. He had his his small title run, but it wasn't the title run that he deserved. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So that's why it was so fitting. You know what I mean? When you say when you gave the Jeff Hardy answer, I was like, you know what, you are the battle rap Jeff Hardy. I was like, I'll give you that title. You know what I mean? I forgot who gave you the Hippie Jesus title.
Drix.
Drix did.
Yeah.
Shout out to Drix.
Facts,
Let me just say that right quick, because you know what, I always looked at him like. When I was seeing him, like when he was consistently on his run, like I looked at him like he was getting ready to be the future.
Yeah, he definitely was. Still has it in that way.
He still is. In his own right, like he still has every potential, every and ability to make that happen for him. But shout out to Drix for that, because that was aptly named. But yeah, I'll give you the the Jeff Hardy
battle rap Jeff Hardy. I'm taking that and running with it too, because honestly, that's. Like, I've had a lot of people comment on this clip now, and I'm just like hoping for certain people to comment on it eventually. Jeff Hardy would be one of them. Like, man, imagine he actually sees the interview, comments on it, and says something to us like life achievement unlocked or whatever they call it.
Yeah, let's try to get So we'll start with the family here. We'll let's try to get everyone to start tagging Jeff Hardy in this clip.
Facts,
you know what I mean? Yeah. If we can start a run right now. Yeah. But yeah, while we're on the subject of battle rap, I definitely wanted to ask you what drew you into the sport, and what was the story on how you first got involved?
So my brother basically did it for like I want to say like 8 months before I decided to do it.
Right.
And a lot of it was just me talking to him, and like beforehand, I would go to his all his battles. First battle was up at Bots, and it was cool to see the event like way differently than maybe like a bunker event, because we were at the bunker
Right.
events, you know.
Mhm.
And so you know, just watching him do it, watching it enough online, because I wasn't even a super big fan of it like until I saw it live. You know, I didn't watch it at home or anything like that. I listened to Soulcon's music, and like
Oh, right.
you know, I watched like some of the older grind time battles, but I didn't stay in tune like when everything was going over to King of the Dot and URL was becoming kind of a force, the force, you know. I really didn't follow it. So eventually, though, I got to it where I was telling him to like, you should say this, or you should do it, something like this, you know, just giving him ideas because I'm not gonna write. And he was like, no, I think like like you should do it then. And I was like, huh, you're right, I should do it.
Yep.
So man, that was just it. And then my first battle went crazier than I think I even expected to. You know, like you want to do good, but damn, that was crazy. So it happens, and I'm just like, oh, maybe I should keep doing this. And then,
Absolutely.
you know, now I'm here. Fucking
You know,
6 years later.
it's crazy that you say that too, y'all, because you know what you bring up the bunker, and man, that was like a sanctuary to me almost.
That's
You know
crazy,
what I
right?
mean? It really was. Like I miss the bunker. You know what I mean? Especially with the because you knew you were there when you saw the big mural of Cadillac Ron right outside. You know, rest in peace, Cadillac Ron.
R.I.P.
You know, and it just like it just immediately it had that feel. You know what I mean? That organic urban battle rap feel.
Battle rap feel.
You know what I'm and it was just the perfect setting. You know.
I forget which one I went to the first. I think it was the one where they had the surprise battle for Disaster, and he battled DNA.
Yeah.
I want to say that was the first one I went to, but yeah, just to kind of tie it into like when we pulled up, it was like I'd never been to anything like this before. It was like a function, you know. And I just walking up, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know why this just feels like where I want to be right now. This is dope, you know. And then like they had the slacktivist there, they had like the dab bar there, they had I don't remember if they had food, but I remember they had drinks there. I think they did have food, but you know, they had like the snow cones there. I don't know. It just for me, it was like a giant party, you know.
I'm almost certain that that's because we of course shout out to our homie Kev, you know what I mean, who's like who basically gave me and Jack a proper introduction. But I'm almost certain you and I think that's where we originally met. I don't think we were properly introduced. I just think we were like hanging around in the same.
Yeah, I want to say the same thing.
At the same time, because I'm almost certain I remember you there.
Yeah,
that's one event that I remember. That I do remember very well was that a surprise, Diz and DNA battle. That was,
That was the day I think when Peanut battled Bonnie Godiva, and
that was.
I ended up knocking out outside. I fell asleep because I was like I wasn't used to being on my feet for that long. It was hot as shit. I was super high, so I like didn't.
We was smoking, and like you said, the slacktivist was hitting different.
I never had weed syrup before that, weed lean or whatever. I did not know what I was in for. It was like edibles, but way more intense. And I was like, yo, I passed out outside. There was like this little train thing I think I could fall asleep on. I just passed out. I didn't even get to see that battle.
You weren't the only one though.
No,
like, okay. I'm not gonna name any names, but you weren't the only battle artist there that ever passed out during the
That's crazy. Yeah, I missed the bunker too. I did not miss the heat and how it was always in the summer.
Yeah,
it's the worst, man. But they need to bring that. But Alvo needs to bring that place back, man. Something to that nature.
For sure. And then now you bring up the viral clip. You know what I mean? And first and foremost, aside from it, being a great moment and being a viral clip, I just want to say that name flip, that whole name flip thing was phenomenal. First and foremost, did you know what you were doing when you were writing that? Did you know what you were doing? Did you know that it was going to be this big?
No, not at all.
No?
I could not have predicted that. No, because this battle was came out pretty quickly, but the battle happened back in March,
Right.
And it was out for like 6 months.
Before, yeah.
So, or like 5 months, whatever. But yeah, when it happened, I'm just like, this part? What? How? Like, it just, I don't get it. I mean, it's not that I hate it or anything, It's just, it's also, it's something that like when I wrote it, even I didn't even think like, oh man, this is gonna get me a lot of views. I just thought it was like a really cool idea. I wanted it to be really succinct and short, and have that like bar at the end that sums it all up at that same time.
That was a perfect closing for it. Fate stands for nothing.
Yeah. No, you think that was something, man?
Jeff, Jack. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, Jack. I watch it, and that's how how badly it fucked my head up. I just like, how, Jack? Just how? Like,
Yeah,
how do you like? Where did you? Yeah,
yeah.
where was your mind at with that?
My mind was
Mhm.
definitely like, so I watched him versus Bobby Rex, and I
Mhm.
saw Bobby Rex do it, right? So it's also like it's not entirely like I just came to me, you know,
Mhm.
like
I mean, like, it may have been done before, but not to this.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and my thought process with it was when I watched him do it, I was like, I was verbally laughing watching it in my room, and I'm thinking like, this is pretty good, and then but it goes nowhere, you know.
Mhm.
That was my thing. I was like, he didn't have a bar at the end of that. He just did it a bunch of times, and I thought, okay, acronyms are cool, but like.
Mhm.
You gotta like I'm on this really big thing the past year of if I'm gonna say something, it's got to be a bar at the end of it. It's got to make sense to why I'm saying it. Even if the bar isn't the craziest
Yes,
punch,
sir.
you know,
Mhm.
it's just it's got to have it be tied up. And I thought, okay, I've never done an acronym before.
Mhm.
Fate is gonna be the one I do this for, but I'm gonna do it shorter, more concise, and I'm gonna have a bar that sums up everything I do. And then I even made it a point afterward to shout him out too, to be like, this is why I'm doing this to flex, you know what I mean? To show
Right.
that I can be in these bags too. That
Mhm.
was more my thing with it. So as I wrote it, I was like, okay, there was certain things in my mind like, don't say this, don't talk about it like this. You know, I had a bunch of different iterations of the FATE thing before
Right.
I was like starting to really kind of put them in order. Some of them made more sense to have like the fuck around till eventually you find out about that energy. And for me, I wrestled with that one because it's like find out about that energy doesn't fully work in it, but you know if you use your imagination enough, it does. So it's things like that where I took like probably like a cool 2 weeks to get it all constructed and have the thought like even be what it is to like because I didn't write the stands for nothing till the end. Like
Right.
I did all the fate shit and then I had the stand for nothing thing. Oh, it's like okay, how do I breaking down his name?
Mhm.
You know, if you fall, stand. I don't know. That's just kind of where that came from. You know, but it's
Yeah.
like a brick by brick process.
It was immaculately put together, and I just definitely wanted to take the time as I look you in your eye and tell you, Jack, that was probably one of your best schemes ever. You know what I mean? And not only like we keep saying, it only goes up from here, but I mean it's mind-boggling. You know, like I showed you like what's happening when I send it to a few people. You know what I mean? And the
Mm-hmm.
responses that I'm getting from it alone, are just like people are like, how? You know
Yeah,
what I'm
right.
saying? So that's why I was like, basically asking for all of us right now, just how, Jack? And of course, like you said, you broke it down. He almost shout out to Fate. Don't get me wrong, you know what I mean. I love Fate, but
Mm-hmm.
he almost like set himself up for that. The way he breaks down his name, the F point, F period,
Mm-hmm,
A
mm-hmm.
period. You know what I mean?
And the other thing too with it that I learned because I did have the idea of trying to figure out what his name meant
Right.
before I saw the Bobby Rex thing.
Mhm.
So that was already something on my mind as like, what does fate stand for? And I learned, and this is no shade to him, but it doesn't. It literally stands for nothing. He
Mhm.
don't even have like acronyms for it at all,
Mhm.
which it's like smart. It's smart tactics, for battle rapping, because then you you make people like guess what it is or whatever.
Mhm.
There's no perfect one that you can come up with. It's not forced either, so it just I don't know. It's a smart battle rap tactic, but that was like the initial thought, and then I saw the Bobby Rex thing. It's like, oh, okay, let me make this into something now, and then figure out how to break down his name, my own
Right.
way, and then like let me say that literally your name stands for nothing,
Yeah.
Like one thing I look back on it and wish I would have done a little bit more. It's like you're like breaking that down to, at least so that people watching it know that his name actually stands for nothing, but you know. Maybe they'll figure it out. They'll watch this interview. They'll figure it out, or they'll figure out how I did, which is
Yeah, they'll probably go down the rabbit hole of the YouTube.
you know what I mean? Trying to like, go where the Facebook.
Mhm.
For me, it was the Facebook one. I was just reading, and I posted something in the Western Conference for a second, and then enough people told me like, yeah, it doesn't stand for nothing. So they could have been trolling me for all I know too.
Yeah. But no, I mean, at this point, if they watch the clip, they'll know. They'll take your word for it and know that it stands. What
Yeah.
it really stands for. But there's something in there. My personal favorite one was forget about the empathy.
Yeah. So they forget about
Yeah,
the empathy.
yeah, that was my favorite one. Because it led right in. Turn to enemies. Forget
Yeah,
about the
friends are
empathy. I'm
turning
like,
enemies.
because like it. Of course you were like you were doing it for the line, but there was just so much truth to it. You know what I mean? I think that's what
That's something when I was making them, it's like,
Mhm.
okay, they have to be these self-contained sort of statements,
Right.
every single one of them. Otherwise, it just sounds like a bunch of random words.
Right.
And like I spent a lot more time with certain letters, like I want to say F. I don't remember if it was F specifically or if it was T, because E was really easy. was able to like, because I have a thesaurus, so I'll look that up too. I'll look for certain words or
Right.
whatever.
Oh, so you have like a whole Eminem approach to your
Oh
writing.
yeah,
like
most of my writing is like that. I have that. Well, not most of it. Some of it though is because I has to be.
Right.
Like I want to make my concepts make sense, and like with what is it with E? It was just I don't know. It was all kind of there.
Right.
And then like with F, it was tough because like it's just there's enough words for it, but it doesn't like some words don't make sense to have there. So
Yeah.
it's like okay, maybe not that many. I'd have a word bank of FATE all right in front of me, and I'm like picking and pushing and or pulling them and whatever and putting them in the directions or the way I want this direction to go.
Believe it or not, I struggle with that same thing too. I mean, not in the writing for a battle rap, a battle rap, point of view, but just for me, like I have a habit of like trying to break words down into acronyms.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, like my last name is Calivo, so it's like CALIVO, and I literally turned it into like an EP title, cherishing a life I visioned of. But it's so hard. Like if anyone like knows, like they just try to take on that task of trying to break down a word and turn it into an acronym, they know how much of a struggle it is.
It is, man.
That's why I was like, the way you did it that many times in that whole sequence, I was like, that's why it was so mind blowing to me. I was like,
that's actually a good way to look at that. No, you're right. Because now when I think about certain songs, like there's this one song called Grind, and it's like Get Ready, It's a New Day.
Yeah.
And I think that's fire. Like when it's the simple ones that make sense to it, And so yeah, when I was like putting them together, that's actually like you don't realize how difficult it is to actually, and then have it make sense on top of that.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't know. They all have like Future Altering Time Entity is one of my favorite ones for sure because it's like
crazy.
the way it goes against what fate is. Like it just to me those two things lined up so perfectly.
So this is all the more reason and more why I believe this clip has gone as far as it's gone. You know what I mean? It's gone viral, and as you're getting recognized and acknowledgments from like so many icons in hip hop. Like I was looking at your time. I'm like, damn, like. You had like your whole comment section looked like a Nike store. It was all blue checks.
Dude, it's kind of
You know what
crazy.
I mean?
I'm trying to make sure we pin the right ones because like some of them I miss and then I don't see for like 2 weeks. I'm like, damn.
Who are some of the people that like have hit you up about this that you were like, fuck, like?
So it's the Shaq one I think you've seen. The Shaq one's crazy for sure.
Yeah.
And because he just messaged me and just like and all he said was, "Damn son, you nice." And it's like, cool, I'll take it.
Right.
That one was crazy. And then the Pete Rock one still is like the craziest one. Posting it on his page is like, damn. He's seen it,
Right.
and that just makes me have to think like other people in the industry have seen this. There's no way. So I'm hoping for more. Jason Momoa is the other big one.
I saw Yellow Wolf on it too.
Yeah, he was talking shit though. He was like,
was he?
he was like nerd salad or something like that. I was like, all right, and then you have everybody getting mad at him and be like, you haven't made relevant music in years. Like, what are you talking? But nah, shout out to him, man. No hate or anything.
But you know what? It's just the fact, of course, that it's unfortunate they had to, come with the negative thing. But the fact that these people are seeing it is what's crazy.
Totally, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm not even mad at it. Like, for every negative comment, there's like 100 positive ones.
I saw Iron hit you up.
Iron's on there. Daylight hit me up.
Yeah.
Tay Rock commented on it. I don't know if you know Major Lazer, but one of the DJs from it, Walshy Fire. He got DJ Walshy, I think is what he goes by. But yeah, he hit. He commented on it. If anybody comments on him, I hit him up either way. Because if they reply to me, then boom, who knows?
Yeah, right.
Same thing with Jason Momoa. When I did that, like he followed me, which was crazy. I didn't even ask him to follow. He like outright followed me, and then I hit him up, and then he's just like, "Yeah, if you ever need a stunt double, I got you." I was like, "All right, man, fire." So if I make a music video, I'm gonna hit up some of these people and be like, "Yo, music video." Like the one people have been telling me with the Shaq one specifically to like.
Yeah, no, that was the one, and you know what? That's one thing that I've always respected Shaq for is because he's always supported the culture. You know what I mean? He's always had his eyes on it, and last person he co-signed like that was probably I think was Suge, if I'm not mistaken. Was Shaq
I want to say so, yeah. It was a big name. Could have been DNA. I don't know. It was one of those names though. Those big names. And
right. And for him to, acknowledge you like that, and well deservedly so. You know what I mean? I think it's just just goes to show that he does. He's not just a part-timer, part-time watcher of the culture. Like he really, you know what I mean, is invested in it. You know what I mean. So, he said, if I'm not mistaken, he's the one that set up the Shotgun Suge Pat Stay battle.
Really?
He's the one that set that up. So you know what I mean. So that's why I was like as happy and elated as I was when he gave you your acknowledgement. You know
Oh, I
what I
didn't
mean?
know
Because
that.
I was like, yo, like someone of that stature, like and I've always told you this from the beginning, Jack. It's only a matter of time. So
That's
it's
the way I
only.
feel about it, man. Like me and my brother had that conversation where he said it to me, and you got to embrace your energy in that way. So he's like, you're kind of inevitable, and it's like just a matter of time until something lands, and this happens to be the thing that lands. Which I'm not mad at it, I don't think I could have wanted any other thing to go up just as much.
I think yeah, and because I've always looked at you as like definitely one of the realists, and when I say like one of the realists, I mean like just one of those people who is just truly you and nothing more. You know what I mean? And
Appreciate
I think
that, man.
these are the ones that I think are going to withstand the test of time. You know what I mean? The real artists within the sport. And you've never had any trouble with that. You know what I mean? That's just like every time that's the reason every time me and you see each other at an event, we're the first ones we see each other like.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I remember
What's
pulling
happening?
up to that GTX event earlier this year, and you were at the door, I guess, but you were like holding it down. It was like
Right.
I stood there with you like for most of that end of that battle. I didn't even go watch it. Just like
Yeah.
we're catching up. So definitely, like I make it a point to be like I don't know myself. Like the way that I am now is pretty much how I am in real life. Like when you see me on camera, unless I'm battling, I gotta. There's like a switch that has to turn on.
Well, I think that's everybody that, when they see Jack pull up to it, like, I mean, when the Son of God approaches an event, it's only right that you go.
Baby Jesus, man. That's
You know
what
what
they
I
call me.
mean? So, but yeah, so what's something in the culture that you have, that you would like to accomplish that you may have not yet? Like, is there like something that, that you have your eye on that's,
Like stages or like
whether
a
it be
thing.
stages or about actually I did see you did an interview recently where you said you gave a list of certain people that you would still love to see in the ring.
Oh yeah.
And which I'm sure we'll definitely get to the Tay Rocks and all that, but the one that you said that stuck out to me for sure was the Fresco. I think,
Oh
like,
yeah,
if you can
that's.
bring Fresco back.
That's like a dream match, man. Please, I know he's never coming back, but he's like he's one of the battlers I discovered later, that like gave me kind of the basis on how to like what I should try to do, Just really inspired by how he raps. His flow is butter,
Right.
and then the way he couples it with the bars, I always thought like, oh, okay, see, this is what I'm supposed to be doing,
Right.
So it kind of gave me a blueprint. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I battle like him because I really don't. But like, you're able to tell some of the like the flow, for instance,
Right.
with how I flow and stuff. I make that a point to have this. Everything kind of goes into the next thing. He has more. I would argue bars, like the way he patterns his stuff out is like you're always gonna get that bar,
Right.
kind of that EFB sort of sense to
It's
it.
almost like just like in USB. If he had like been here, he probably would be. You know what I
Honestly,
mean?
man, I would not even be surprised, man.
And I
He could
may
be the
have
only one on
I may
there.
have approached you, the last question, it may have been a little bit loaded because I wanted you to come back and say, yeah, maybe I should hit that GTX stage.
Yeah.
GTX. Which,
No.
if I have anything to do about it, I will be pushing for that.
Well,
So,
and if hey man, let him know because like Diz also commented on one of the things I did. I think it was the acne one that we did. We put up a video of the acne angle I had in my last battle with Kamikaze,
right.
and it's at like 600,000 views now. So that's gonna be the next one that hits like 1 mil, right?
Yeah.
And Disaster commented on it, and then he also added me and messaged me about being on GTX. So
Oh, okay.
it's just a matter of time. Lush knows who I am. I've been around when Lush was like doing the Blacklist session out in San Bernardino,
Oh,
with
okay.
him and Smokey. They would show up and we would go hang out with them. So it's like they know I've been around for long enough now. Now with this stuff popping off, I think again it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it's only right. It's only right,
Yeah.
So if like I said, I'll be reminding everyone.
Hell yeah.
I'll be
Appreciate
reminding them
that,
the whole
man.
staff of like, yes, I want Jack on this card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe like we said, it's a long chance, but maybe that's the one we'll get Fresco to come back.
Yeah, let's go. Bring it back, man. I swear, like if he's not on what is it called? Blackout that's coming out right now. I don't know if he'll ever come back. I know that, and this is just me knowing from what because he stopped battling when before I even started. I think, I think he just started making a lot of money. He
Oh
said,
yeah,
"Fuck
no,
battle rap."
Fresco's always been a hustler.
Yeah,
That's never been
yeah.
If you had seen him in his last battle, when he who was it that he battled? I think he battled QP.
Yeah.
You can tell that man is making money. So.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like over the battle rap stuff. But it would be cool. It would be cool to happen. Frack is like another person, just because
Yeah,
I have
that'd be dope.
I have an immense respect for him. It's not even like I have anything I'd want to say. It would be the toughest battle to date because he's so clever. He's so witty with
Right,
it. He's like creative, the way that he comes up with his angles and the way that he executes them. It's like it's something to be learned from almost, you know.
Right.
Like when we go back 10 years from now, we go back and say someone's teaching an English class, they can take verses from him. Shuffle T is like another person like that. But yeah, Frack would be like a dream battle, I suppose you would say. You know?
Yeah, I think that'd be a must see for sure.
Yeah, Iron Solomon's another one, just
Ooh.
because it'd be crazy.
Yeah, no, that.
The rhyming on it.
Yeah, that these are I'm gonna start writing these down. Man.
Yeah,
These
man,
are
I got
like,
my list somewhere.
Some of
too.
these I haven't even thought of, and I'm like Jack in the ring. That would be
It'd be kind of crazy, you know.
Yeah.
These are more like Grail battles, like bucket list battles, but they happen, man. I'm dreaming big at this point.
I mean, we can definitely kind of see like what everyone's favorite battle is from you right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
for real.
I mean, with the exception of this one with Fate, I mean, like, do you have any personal favorite battles that you probably had the most fun with? Like one of my personal favorites, because the only reason I ask is because I can't get over your red bang.
I knew you were gonna say that, bro. But I showed up in a Old Navy blazer, man, and like thought I was looking fly with my Asics on. But it was I had a great time that battle. That was like fun for me. She because she was good competition too. You know, like people can have their opinions on the battle. That's fine. But I think with both of us rapping consistently throughout our rounds,
Right.
consistent energy, consistent reaction, no gas intensely on either side.
At all,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just
so
like,
everything was deserved. Every
exactly.
response was well
Like
deserved.
I earned my reactions. If she said something that didn't land, like she wouldn't get reactions. So it's like this cool back and forth of it, and then just. I was pretty ruthless in that battle, so like the way I had, as I should be,
But I mean, that's for anyone that needs to be reminded, this is battle rap. So I mean, like, you know what I mean. It is what it is, and and you did exactly as far as I'm concerned, you did exactly what you were supposed to.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people that after the battle they came up to me and they're like, "I see what you did. You had to play the bad guy, like the villain," and I was like. Sure.
Doesn't Jack always do that though? I mean, like when I've never seen you grant anybody mercy in the ring. That's the thing about it. I've never seen you do it. You know what I mean?
I've held back in battles, like with my Billy Boondocks battle. I definitely was like delicate with how I approached all the topics of everything. Just because especially even how the battle got put together. There's dumb battle rap drama behind it. I wouldn't even say dumb. It's just drama behind it that had nothing to do with me. So I'm just trying to like.
No, yeah.
But I had to also say things, you know what I mean? So that one was like, I held back a little bit, but I'm glad I did, caused me no problems.
I mean,
It's
I don't
okay
think
battle.
you ever need to, Jack. I mean, you know just as well as I do. There are a couple of your bars that I wasn't a fan of.
Yeah.
I won't get too specific. I'll just say this: no more handicap bars.
No
Jack.
more handicap.
Yeah, Jack. That's all I'm gonna request from you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and luckily that battle never dropped, so we're good.
So, yeah. But no, I mean, like, it's like, I mean, of course, red bangs don't bang. But like, to you, is there another battle that you had fun with? Like, was your personal favorite?
Yeah, man, like it's gonna be that profane battle. It'll never drop, which is fine. Like I'm not. And the more I bring it up, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, you're salty about it." It's like, no, I'm really not. Like, I do wish it would come out. I think it would get a lot of views, especially considering like how well I did. And Profane wasn't bad in it either, Just I don't think they expected me to be that good.
I think it'll be one of those situations where it's like it'll probably be like a rematch somewhere like 5 years from now or something like that. Just to actually make sure that we have one on YouTube. For
Exactly,
that,
and it's only one round, so like, I don't know. There's just a lot of reasons why it couldn't just not came out,
We'll probably end up getting like your rematch will probably end up being a full 3-rounder.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So we
exactly.
can get the full,
I'd rather, and then if that's the case, I'll just spit everything I did in the first round. Like, I'll split it up, you know what I mean, and then write a new round. But that one, just because I think like I was so prepared for it, I was ready for it, like the way I practiced for it. I had a really good idea, like that I knew anybody I showed to beforehand, it was like the same kind of visceral reaction, And I was like, oh, okay, I think I got something with this. And then the way it happened in the room, I'm like, this is crazy. I don't know. I've just never been a part of. Well, up until now, it's like I hadn't been a part of like moments like that. I was still like learning how to create moments, and that was like one of my biggest ones that I've had. And then like just the way I was able to perform, I was really comfy up there. So it was like one of my favorite ones for sure.
For sure, and I think ultimately, I ask these questions because ultimately I think we can tell when a battle artist is truly having fun in the ring, when they're truly, in their zone, and there's there's no breaking them, man. Like these were like definitely some of the ones where like I saw you, I'm like, okay, Jack's in his bag, you know what I mean? So,
And the Fate one is definitely like that too. Even walking away after that battle, we all kind of felt it, like not just from me, but from Fate too, because he did really good in his round. So it's like we all felt like, yeah, that was fun. You know,
Right.
you could tell on screen too. It's a battle. You know, because I have a stumble, he has a stumble.
Right.
We're going back and forth per round, pretty much to the point where my material's actually lining up with his in ways where people thought I was going to get washed. So
Right.
it makes it like a battle. It's fun to watch in that way. And then I don't know about
I mean,
him,
there's
but
battles, but then there's wars, and I think y'all went to war in that one. You know
yeah,
what I
that's a
mean?
good way to put it. Yeah.
And it's a and it was a respectful one at that. You know what I mean? So.
Mhm.
And I think that's what I think that's what makes for such a for such a good war like that is like when you're in there with somebody that you're familiar with, you know what I mean, but you have respect for.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
Well, that's why we had hung out a couple times at events and stuff. We had hung out at events and stuff beforehand. I think I had picked him up. I picked him up for one of the King of the Dot battles for the seasons, and so like we're familiar with each other, like being around each other, or whatever. And clearly, I respect his writing. Like, I only asked for the battle because I wanted to show I could write with someone of that caliber,
Right.
because I do think he's like a good writer. So, that's like my mindset into it was doing that, and then also like be the most Jack, because if you are the most Jack in this battle, then you're battling somebody who if you beat him or if you at least go toe to toe with him, then now people know that this is the you that they're gonna get all the time, sort of
Right.
thing. That's like I would argue that's probably the one I've been the most me in the past year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go
like,
check that one out because you want to see Jack in his purest form. Like, yeah.
Boom, facts.
Mhm.
That's the best way to put it. Yeah, it's in my purest form. That one or the Kamikaze battle that just came out, but that one was like, it's a good battle, but it doesn't have the same weight I think as the Fate battle did.
Yeah. I mean, because it had that it had that moment, Jack. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to be one of those moments in battle rap history that lives forever. But if anyone knows about me when I do these interviews, I only talk to people who like I feel bring pride to the West Coast. You know what I mean? People who have like just dedicated themselves and just definitely put in work, and represented properly, sir. And I just want to look you in your eye and say thank you for everything that you're doing. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man.
It's real, And I just wanted to ask you, on some real shit. What is one thing about the West Coast that you proudest of?
That I what?
What is one thing about the West Coast that you're proudest of?
That I'm proudest of, the West Coast. I'm proud of the longevity, to be honest.
Yes.
A lot of people say like battle rap's dead, or they say this or that about it. We're not a strong unit over here, whatever. Not just from the diversity of it, like from how many leagues that we have. The amount of talent that comes out of each one, the different types of it. The fact it's been going this long now, battle rap it's still continuing, and we still have like stars in the making. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not like excluding myself out of it. You have people like Hansel,
Right.
going crazy right now, and that's just one person out of the entirety of the West.
Yeah.
I could sit here and argue anybody on like the regular squad that I battle with, and everybody has their own path, their own journey to get to and stuff like that. But same thing of that nature. Anybody from Westworld or the Riot at this point,
Right. Exactly.
there's a lot of what's the word? Unity is a strong word. It's a little too strong of a word, but it is something of that nature, Like, it should be. I will say this. I wish there was more, but I think, like, it's in a good spot now. Like, when people look at the West, they see the sanctified, like, region of which we are. That, like, I don't know, everybody pushes for it. They should be.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're getting to that point, you know what I mean? I think ultimately we're getting to that point, but, I agree with you 100%, you know what I mean? And we definitely have a roster right now, so I think, it's making its way, the culture's making its way back west. So,
That's a good way to put it.
And then, partly because of you, sir. So, Jack, I just want to say thank you, man. Appreciate your time in a real way, and I'm sure we're going to be doing this, a lot more, and we're going to see you a lot more in the ring,
Hell yeah.
So.
Bring me back. Let's go.
Yep, that way, so. Just like that, West World, we out.
Woo! Oh man, look at you got a bunch of sweat on you.